So we just finished reading the book Dragon Rider,
Which is ginormous.
which is actually 500 pages. So I'd say it's pretty decent size. But so we finished it, and so in the book, so it starts off in the Valley of the Dragons in North America. Fire Drake is with the other dragons, and they discover that humans are coming to invade their valley. So the oldest person, Slatebeard, he says that there is a place called the Rim of Heaven where dragons can roam freely. So Fire Drake and Sorrel, a brownie, kind of like a cat. She's like, yeah, cat human.
Type of cat person thing.
Yeah. So Fire Drake, a silver dragon, and Sorrel the brownie set off in search of the Rim of Heaven, which is said to be in the highest mountain ranges. So they visit like a rat that shows them a map and tells them that the Rim of Heaven is probably in the Himalayas because that's the highest mountain range in the world.
And while they visit the rat, they find a human boy who's kind of poor and doesn't have any parents. So Fire Drake was nice enough to let the boy's name is Ben, let them travel with them, with Sorrel and Fire Drake. So they managed to get all the way to the Rim of Heaven, like visiting the thousand-eyed Jinn thingy where it shows them the Rim of Heaven, by visiting sea serpents.
Wait, and then like halfway through the book, they introduce this new creature, and he is called Neverbrand.
He's so evil, so evil.
He's an evil. He is the villain of this book. He's the antagonist. So he comes through this book, and a raven, his like evil servant that he enchanted to be giant. One of his evil servant ravens tells him that he saw a dragon with a human and a brownie. But you see, Neverbrand was the one who made the dragons have to go into hiding in the first place. He can't fly, but he's kind of like a dragon. He's
like
an evil person, and he like swims/walks, and then he hunts all the dragons down for sport. And like that's what he likes to do this time. So then that's what he does. And then so like they travel to the Rim of Heaven, and they're racing Neverbrand, who's got a few servants. And then one of Neverbrand's old servants betrays Neverbrand and comes to work with them. Yeah,
Twigleg and
tiny human.
Yeah, he was riding on a raven. So they were actually following Fire Drake and the others. And then Twigleg decided that he would no longer be a servant. He just hated being Neverbrand's servant. So he just decided to tell the truth to Ben, who actually found Twigleg. So he told the truth to Ben, and then they didn't do anything mean to him, except Sorrel was so mad. But now he just became nice because he was so tired of it.
And then,
he joined the group.
Yeah, so they kept on going. They met a few other characters that helped them, but to find out where the Rim of Heaven is, they had to ask the thousand-eyed Jinn, who knows all the answers. But since Ben was the very first person in over 4 millennia to ask a question not for himself, it's not even for himself that he's asking the question, so the Jinn actually answered it.
Because nobody else asked
it. Yeah, because everybody asked it for themselves. Like, how can I be rich?
He couldn't answer a question that was already asked. So Ben asked the question. He actually asked the very first question of where is the Rim of Heaven.
Like a selfless question.
Yeah, and it had to be like 7 words long.
Yeah. So then, they did that. They found the Rim of Heaven, and then they defeated. Well, they were looking for other dragons too. So they went to the Rim of Heaven, but there was only one left. All the rest had turned to stone because they needed moonlight. And since they were so afraid of Neverbrand that they didn't go outside, that they didn't get their moonlight.
So they just
turned it to stone. So there was one person left.
Maya? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like M-A-I-A. I don't know how to pronounce it. We don't know how to pronounce it. We just call her Maya. So she joined Fire Drake. And also there was this little Zubidai, little brownie that came out that helped them also, whose name is Berber-chan. So Berber-chan, Maya, Fire Drake, Sorrel, Ben, Twigleg, and all the other people helped defeat Neverbrand by using Brownie Spit and Dragon Fire.
So they used Brownie Spit to dissolve Neverbrand's impenetrable gold armor. Even Dragon Fire didn't hurt it. But after they used Brownie Spit, it actually dissolved the armor. So then he could be harmed by the Dragon Fire, and then he burned down.
Yeah, so they just actually defeated Neverbrand, which is impressive. Everyone was so scared of him, like forever. All the dragons were technically hiding just because of it, and they actually defeated him, which is pretty when he was defeated, he turned into a frog because like little scientists.
Every magical creature.
Yeah,
he
some
was
scientist
creative.
or something created Narrowband out of just a frog.
Yeah, so what do you think of the book? I really liked it. Out of 10, I would give it a 9 because although it was probably the best literature book I ever read, it was kind of
some parts were
confusing
kind of
at
boring.
times.
Yeah. Sometimes they were a little bit confusing, boring. You couldn't really understand what was happening, but it was okay. Well, I liked it a lot, but it was just like very tiny few parts of it, and you didn't really make sense.
I know, we read 10 periods in like an hour period. So sometimes for like maybe half a period, which if you think about it, is only like 25 pages or something. But for some time it would get a little bit confusing because there's so many characters. But I think if you really pay attention to the book and you read these signed pages and you do everything, then you'll be really into this book and you'll understand what's happening. And I think you really should read this book.
You just have to like pay attention. So
you watch it.
Yeah. We might spoil stuff if you're watching this, but right. So I think I'm just gonna give it 10 out of 10 because I absolutely loved it. I don't know because I like dragons and stuff like that. I like magical stuff and all that, like fantasy and stuff. So I actually liked it, even though some parts were a little bit boring, like you said. But
So how many out of 10 would you give it?
10.
10?
I don't know. I liked it. I loved it a lot. It was the best book I ever read. Even though it was really big, it was like the best big book I ever read.
Yeah, it was the longest literature choice.
I don't really read that big books, but I read like half of this.
But I think the author did a good job, Cornelia Funke. By doing a big book, you get more into the book. With the short book, you have to figure out, oh my gosh, how am I going to cram this big storyline into one page? You have to cut out every single little moment and just include what is absolutely necessary. But with a long book, the readers get more into the book, and then they like the book more.
Yeah, they just want to finish it.
Yeah, and they want to finish it. So
I think it was an absolutely awesome
I think it was
I love
awesome
it.
book.
But even though it was just the best book ever.
Yeah.
So thank you, Cornelia Funke, for writing this. Thank you so much. It's amazing. I like it a lot.
Yeah, that was end of the book discussion for Dragon Rider. That was so I gave it a 9 out of 10. Audrey gave it a 10 out of 10. Yep, really good book.